Well, after reporting on this story for days and you all paying attention, there is a collective sigh of relief today at the airports. TSA officers, as we noted, finally saw two missed paychecks get in their bank accounts. And that is because of the executive order signed by President Trump, but without a deal from Congress to end the entire DHS shutdown. So that leaves a lot of questions. Here's Kent.
If you're wondering how TSA's long-awaited payday is impacting local travelers, it's best to start at arrivals.
I showed up 4 hours ahead of the flight, and I was through security in 15 minutes.
Ben Botts flew in from Baltimore, one of several airports that were still experiencing multi-hour security wait times this weekend.
I would much rather be waiting on the other side rather than being worried on the front end.
Up in departures, wait times have remained largely worry-free throughout the shutdown.
We're usually an hour family. We like to cut it close.
But Jen Hardy doubled that for this spring break trip with her kids, arriving 2 hours early just in case.
We got here early not knowing if it was going to be crazy, and I think it was harder to find parking than it says 5 minutes to get through security.
Travelers, along with airport officials, can't say enough about that consistency despite everything local TSA officers have been dealing with.
Certainly appreciative that they've been able to maintain operations when other airports haven't been able to do so as well as we've done here.
Jeff Lee with the Airports Commission says it's all the more impressive considering the last few days before getting paid have been the most intense.
This weekend was our busiest weekend that we had forecasted for all of spring break.
How did it go?
Yeah, 191,000 people screened from the Thursday through the Sunday, and we've kept checkpoint wait times under 30 minutes through most of that.
Though it's impressive, travel experts warn there's still turbulence ahead for air travel.
I am really concerned about what this means, not just for spring break travel, but what this is going to mean for travel in the long run. Because, this is the second time in 4 months that TSA workers have gone unpaid for a month and a half or more. What is that workforce going to look like 2 years from now?
According to the TSA, the agency has already lost more than 500 officers before making it to this long-awaited payday.
I don't know who in their right mind would apply to join the TSA right now when this is how that agency is treated.
But for now, travelers are thankful for those who have stuck it out.
Can't imagine what it's like to feel torn between showing up for work, whether or not it's worth it not getting a paycheck. I'm glad they're getting paid to continue to keep things rolling smoothly.
Now keep in mind, the TSA officers that did stick it out still have a lot of uncertainty. The back pay doesn't begin to cover late fees and other issues related to missed payments. In fact, despite this back pay check, officers are still missing about a week's worth of back pay. That's something the TSA says it's working on, but it will be hard to guarantee future paychecks or even that week of pay until Congress gets back from recess and actually votes through a funding plan. Jana.
And Kent, when you say Congress is on recess, it just kind of enrages the average American again, like you just left. But right. I want to focus on positives here because there have been so few. The TSA workers here, a lot of people around Minnesota, and we saw this through Operation Metro Surge, said, how can we help? So any word on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been efforts, even with the mobile food pantry. That's just one example that I can give you from Veep down in Bloomington. They said that they handed out more than 500 emergency food boxes to those workers in just the past few weeks. That just gives you an idea of the need, despite the fact that you didn't feel it going through that airport.
Good point. Thank you so much, Kent, for